Alrighty. Greetings, pals. How are you guys today? A little bit Wednesday. I am wearing a big old black dress. Big old long black dress, whatever I was trying to say there. But it's more of my like Morticia Addams dress than anything. Tis Wednesday, my dudes. And tis May 6th, which is crazy that we're in May already. Dun, dun, dun. I'm watching some baseball and keeping eyeballs on that basketball today, but other than that, calm day. Yesterday, I apologize, I spent the day sewing, not gonna lie. I sewed a bunch of stuff. I finished that thing, which is great. I made curtains and I made a few handkerchiefs. It was good. Other than that, nothing happened. I've been really sleepy. I don't know if you guys have been sleepy, but I've been super sleepy the past few days. I'm sleepy often though, so. But yeah, how are y'all doing? We're gonna do that sweet event. Stop. Oh, and somebody tell me how my volume is. Twitch. And then after this game is done, I'm gonna watch some of those things that I was supposed to get done. Greetings, pals. Greetings, Mr. Savage. Also, Jopa and Maximum Sharpie. How are you guys today? What fun activities have you guys gotten up to on this wonderful Wednesday? Look how pretty it is. It's also a little dry. It's a little dry. A little dry. I'm supposed to be checking this, right? Oh no, sir. Adieu. Freshly. Oh, fun. How fun. Congratulations. Preparation for them summer times. Yeah, I feel like spring was like very fast. We transitioned from like spring to summer very quickly. And now it's like summertime activities. That sounds lovely. Do you gather the sap from the trees? I know that's also supposed to happen at some point. What? Madam. For yourself. That sounds like fun. Have fun with the garden. And the sap. That's exciting. Is it now? Is it now the sap is being gathered, or is that like a little later date, or an earlier date, I mean? I keep forgetting to drink the smoothie, so I have to go in. I apologize for the stirring sounds. Interesting. That's pretty cool. I meant like maple syrup sap, but I guess that works too. Can't you also chew sap as like a gum of sorts? Chew that tree. I was gonna say burn it down. Don't burn it down. Don't do that. Exciting. I like maple syrup, obviously, from the land of maple syrup. It's super yummy when you pour it onto the ice or whatever. 15-2. Bottom of that 8. Also watching this questionable 90 to 89. I don't know how basketball games are scored, but Sixers versus Knicks is a thing too. Phillies are doing okay. You know, it's an okay day for Philadelphia today. Pine sap. Chug some maple syrup. Chug, chug, chug. Yes, I do love me some maple syrup. I would, as like a child, I would definitely just drink it. But now I'm worried about that diabetes. Say no. This guy. Q. And then Q. Yeah, for sure. I love sugar. It's like super problematic. I have to love sugar less. Thank you. Canadians love you too. We're squishy people.
Warp drive active.
Are we? I don't know. I've been watching Letterkenny. For those that asked me at some point. It took me years to watch that show, but we are watching it now, which is fun. It's a good show. I like it. It's very accurate representation. I also realized, I was like, they really do be making shows about Canada for Canadians. Like, they also made Degrassi. I still haven't watched it, but that was made in, like, my city and in a school that I, like, close to the school that I went to. A bunch of the kids that were on Degrassi went to a school that was, like, close by, and it was essentially just the entire, like, the replica of that school. It was a good time. Partially. And then there's Trailer Park Boys, obviously. But they're all, like, partially sponsored by the Canadian government. It's great. Thank you. We are geese. Oh, cool. What's their name? I shall follow them.
Docking permission requested.
Or do you mean I'm the other streamer? What is the other one? It's fun. It's fun to get to, like, starting to get to know all the streamers in the vicinity. Very exciting. I shall shave that. Hello, sir. How are you today? Aw, small streamer looking to make a difference in the world. That's cute. But they haven't been on in a while. Well, hopefully they return.
Warp drive active.
Thank you. Yeah, sounds Canadian. Ooh, nice. That sounds yummy. Yeah, we have that goose attitude. You know. Goose time. When you hang out around too many geese for a while. That's what happens. Do you guys have Canadian geese? You must have Canadian geese. They must hang out in America sometimes, right? Nice, congratulations. Beans are fantastic. I love beans. And chorizo, but I also like beans. Actually, I made like a sausage and, sausage and like rice situation. And lentils. I'm also a big fan of lentils. That was yummy. I'm very proud of it. What was I asking? They come down seasonally? Why am I being careful? I'm just gonna run these missions. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grind this. That's what we're gonna do. How long is the Capsuleer event on for? Is it also a month? Because I like those ships, even though I tried not to.
A module has run out of charges.
Pew pew. But why am I being careful? Where are you going? Why are you going away from him? We want to go towards him. Oh, because there's like a orbit. I thought you said Intel soup. I was like, oh, what is that? Meat and barley stew. Ooh, that's nice. Barley is good. Yeah, and stew. I do be liking both stew and barley. I'm a fan of just like hearty foods that are good for you. Fiber and carbohydrate. My brain's not working. Anything that's just like more or less clean food is my jam. This one? I don't remember. I got it in 2019 or 2020 or something like that, but probably between $50 and $100 on Amazon. I don't know how much my whole setup was. A lot of it I got secondhand. But I did buy the mic. I think that was actually it, and then the rest of it I got like secondhand. Yeah, but it's not like a crazy expensive mic. It's just from Amazon for whatever. Worth it though. Definitely worth it. But honestly, like, it picks up a lot of sounds, obviously, like if you, because every time this thing moves it, like, you know, does the thing. A lapel mic, which is like $20, is equally useful, actually, if you're interested in mics. And though, yeah, I said $20. Technically there's a lot of carbon involved. It's true. Thank you for the watch streak. How exciting. Aw, cute. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I want to do. I'm gonna watch Joker for a bit with his adventures. I still haven't decided. It's gonna take me a while, guys. I like being in Eve Uni. Did they win? Is it finished? Oh shit, right. I totally forgot to check. Okay. Am I on one right now? We'll do this one and then I'll be careful. Motherfuckers. Sorry. Nationals win 15-2. The Sixers need to pull it out, bro. Raptors lost. The Habs are having a moment, bro. What is this? This is their first game. Oh no. My secondary babies.
Warp drive active.
Okay. Acceleration gate. Yeah, it just continues. I did find out that I am in fact allowed to swear, and it's totally fine as long as it's not like overly too much swearing. Yeah, I mean it's good because the tax rate and the blah 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 and the everything else, and by good tax rate I mean it's solid $0 or 0%, but technically $0 too. So technically I'm allowed to swear. I did mark my Twitch stream as for specific audiences only. I really love the acceleration gates. I think they're very cool looking.
Warp drive active.
What was I gonna say? Have fun. But yeah, what was I gonna say? I'm working on it. I've started to, I've started to edit my stuff and things. And obviously you have to, oh, it's a moose. That's hilarious. That's funny. What was I gonna say? So that's the other reason that, like, I know that just, like, when editing you have to, like, mute most of it. Because you can swear on YouTube, but you can't, I don't know, I guess. You can probably swear also on the on the Instagrams and all that jazz, but best not. So, we're trying. It's gonna take a while. It's a hallmark of my existence. Do 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 do. This guy, I can orbit this dead man. I miss my drones. I miss my drones. How are you guys doing on your event track? Also, if anybody does want to answer if the event track is for the whole month, that would be sweet. I assume so. Excuse me. Do 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 do. Yeah. I think I have a mature content warning on both my Kick and my Twitch. And then YouTube, I don't know, doesn't seem to care. Like, it'll sort you itself, I think. And I think that YouTube is doing this thing where it's like children are not supposed to be on YouTube anyways. Like, YouTube has YouTube Kids, which is like where the children are supposed to be. Which I think is reasonable. I do think we should have like a split internet. Where like if you're under 18, you're not allowed to use the entire internet. Totally reasonable. Training wheels internet. Cargo rig. Oh yes, it's this one. Warehouse cargo rig. Pressure sign. Power generator, not pressure generator. Habitation module. No, you're managing 4 targets. June 2nd, GG. Awesome. Yeah, I'm getting those ships. You can motivate me with mounts. Mounts and Plex is basically what I'm done with. Where are you going? Okay. Pew pew. Pew pew. Ooh, thank you. But I was told that it's really just those 2 events that happen. There's not too many events. Fanfest. Oh. Spaghetti-o. Very cool. Oh, wow. Oh, you do? Huh. Okay, cool. That's nice. I like events. I like themed things. 3 expansions this year. That's a lot. Do you have to pay for the expansions like the same way that in WoW you have to pay for expansions, or does it come included with the subscription? Expansions. We'll see what Hamza and Sean are yapping about. They're so spicy. But it's like a first show kind of spice, you know? I'm excited to see what happens after they fight. Or maybe they'll want to rematch it immediately, but like... Come on, Sean. We'll see how it goes. I'm so excited. So excited. So excited. Pew pew all of those guns. Media Day. Yes, we should watch the Media Day stuff. What achievement? What? What? What did I do? Oh no. What have I done? Oh. Thank you. I don't know what I did on my link tree, but... Reha. It's a good time. I am actually migrating all of my stuff. I've made a secondary account that I'm going to use for all of my retail jazz. Oh yeah. Yeah, we try to figure things out. I'm not for or against any people. I support all people. All people are great. I'm just against ganging up on people via bad governance. I'm against bad governance is what I'm against. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I've made a lot of friends over there. I have a lot of friends on like both sides, obviously. Being from Toronto, you tend to have like 3% all the way. Yeah. Yeah, being from Toronto, I have friends on both sides, but it truly is a governance issue, just like a lot of our issues right now. So, yeah, it's a whole ass experience. This existence is a whole ass experience. Yeah, it's been crazy times. Yeah, I definitely believe in like ethical freedom fighting. Like, you know, it's like, because I do believe that people can take it too far as well too, and you gotta know when to stop, or when you've like won or lost a battle. So, but yeah, during that time, there was just a lot of families and stuff there. So, families that I was in conversation with, families I'm still in conversation with, they still be struggling. And again, violence is never the answer. Never the answer. So, yeah, but thank you. I'm glad you've noticed, and I'm glad you appreciate. You get all sorts of different opinions, but opinions are like buttholes, you know? We've all got one. When they turned on individuals protecting themselves? What are you referring to? What are you referring to? Greetings, Boogo. I'm not for the Second Amendment in Canada. I like us minus Second Amendment. We have a good time. If we... It's a whole story. But yeah, you're definitely not allowed to retaliate here. Which, like, I'm fine with. As a person that lived in Toronto, you know, Toronto is very pro getting all the baby gangbangers to lay down their weapons. Especially the older ones are all on that direction. We solve our issues differently. Which sometimes works and then sometimes doesn't, but you know. As we go. Yeah, but our government doesn't really do that. Like, we have in Toronto at least, we actually have a really good relationship with our police, which is a little annoying because you can't even ride against them. When the BLM protests were happening, regardless of how you feel about that and like where your opinions on it lie, because in America they were having all those like crazy riots and shit, and again, structural violence, etc., etc. But in Toronto, when the march came up to the police headquarters, the cops came out and they like got down on one knee, like together as like a demonstration. And that was that. So then everybody went home. I was like, oh, alright, fine, fuck. And that's generally the stance they take all the time. So they actually put in, like right now they're running all sorts of, like psych exercises basically, where they're bringing out our police in full riot gear so that people can interact with them in full riot gear and like see that they're very well trained, see that they're not like, just because they're in riot gear and just because there's like heavy police presence like doesn't mean that they're here to harm us. I have zero issues with the cops. Not that they don't do everything perfectly always, but they do make a really, really big effort in this country, whether it's the cops or like the RCMP or the OPP or whatever. Again, they fuck up, like they do fuck up, but when they fuck up, we hold them very heavily accountable. Same with the forces. I support our forces. Again, I support most forces just because I am a military raised child. But yeah, so we deal with our issues differently, and so that's why we don't like have guns in the same manner, and we do a lot of like de-gunning in this country, because we try to solve our problems differently. But America obviously is different, so I do agree to disagree on the concept. But I do agree with the Canadian just in general. Oh no. And that being said, we are gun owners, like in my family, but we've gone through extensive training for that. Not myself, but I mean, it's eventually probably maybe I'll get like my firearms license, but I am like on my family's like firearm thing. I do love guns. I just also love to shoot them. And like back, you know, in Russia too, obviously. I'm pretty sure Russia's like a free carry country too, but again, they have a very different approach to it as well. It's a different beast. They fight each other. We do a lot of martial arts. I don't have enough space. I kind of, why? What? Can I just chuck it? What does this mean? Wait, how much is that? Can I not carry it at all? Uh-oh. Ah! Where'd it go? Well, that's annoying. Not really. I was born in that country. Like, there's a lot of misconceptions and lies about it. That's not true. They do not teach children gun safety. I mean, they do teach children gun safety, but there's not a lot of people just like running around with guns out there just being like, haha, here's a gun child. Like, that's not real. That doesn't happen. Sometimes there's hunting, and like you are taught not even just gun safety but general safety, and you are around a lot of like military okay, hold on. I was around a lot of military personnel, like law enforcement officers and etc., etc. I don't know if that's a unique experience to myself, but you do see, again, like Amon is like a riot, or not just riot, but they're like the highest like enforcement. They're kind of like I'd hate to compare them to ICE, but they are like the high. Well, actually, I don't know if ICE is like the highest level of law enforcement, whatever, beneath the military. That like they're sent in for like special ops and they're sent in for all this other jazz, but they like will patrol streets and whatever. But again, they are the like the safest, and they're like they have a good sense of humor. They're like the safest people, and like they're kind of like your uncle on the street. So you do see a lot of weapons, or like enough weapons, but you always see safety. So it's kind of taught through just being around gun safety, but they don't like bring out weapons unless you're going hunting, unless they're taking you, like you have like it's a male thing usually when like men will go off like fishing or hunting or doing whatever, and so then you might be taught it. But even like a child, like you wouldn't bring them to go shoot an animal at the age of like 6, just because it's like psychologically it, you know, whatever. Or maybe you would, like depending on your family, you know, maybe 9. If you come from places like Chechnya or whatever, they have a lot of like culture of weapons within the culture and stuff as well. Maybe in those places, then yes, you would, and you would absolutely be taught gun safety. You also do stupid shit, but like again, you do that stupid shit as part of a tradition thing, and it's usually a male centered experience somewhere where like you're not gonna accidentally shoot your like female counterparts that usually are not so much engaged in that. Regardless of my opinion and how stupid I think it is to shoot a fucking gun into the air, whatever, boys will be boys. Traditional boys will be boys. It's like part of it, because I've talked about it several times, and I was just like, but what if it comes back down and hits you in the head? And they're like, this is just part of it, you are risking it. You're like, if God wills it to be this way. I'm like, it's the most male response I've heard. But yeah, you don't, like a regular child would not be, but everybody does go to the army at the age of 18 to 20. It's a 2-year experience, and like they send you to the army, like it's not, you don't get like hurt in the army. You just like, it's kind of like a fraternity experience, and it kind of teaches you like, you know, readiness just in cases. They teach you like it's like basic training for like everybody. The only way to get out of that is that if you're in if you're like actively in university and like doing whatever, just because the value of being in university is like higher to the country than the value of you like doing whatever. But then once you're done university, you do still have to go and do it at some point, but it's not crazy. Like it's not like you're not like on the front lines, especially as like a baby soldier. Like that's not how it works. They just teach you like whatever, and then also like you can do like my brother did his army thing, and he did like his base, I think it's like basic training for the first year that's like very like unison for everybody, and they teach you like fighting, and they teach you like gun safety, and they teach you like how to do all this stuff, and they teach you how to have a routine. Like it's kind of like a Mormon mission. And then for the second half, he did like they let you like specialize in like random whatever you want to do. So if it's like tech, they'll go and send you into like the tech sector, and like if you want to do like more infantry type stuff, then you can do that, or like blah blah blah. So you get to, it's kind of like baby university, like military university type thing, which is nice. I think it's a good idea. It's like, you know, it because sometimes like especially like because of the way that we raise like the genders, right, like, and women are kind of like inherently told that they have this like purpose of like childbearing and like blah blah blah. Sometimes males in Russia at least like don't have that same direction, so it does give them a bit of a purpose. And in Russia also, I think I talked about this before, like the military, they don't have the same selection process as they do here, where you have to be like super able-bodied in order to join. There they have this mentality of like you can be useful in whatever way, so it's like it gives people the option that like, you know, if all else fails and you can't get into university or you can't like find a job or whatever, like there's always a space for you to like come and work the government, like through either the military or through whatever. And like it doesn't mean like running around on the battlefield or whatever, like you can literally just like fill out paperwork and shit like that, or do whatever what else. So it's kind of like an opportunity to also just remind people that like, you know, this is an option, like don't go jump off a bridge, like you're fine, you know, if all else fails, the country's here for you. So I think it's kind of cute, to be honest. What am I doing? This. I need to go talk to this lady. Doc, because I... Ooh, yeah, contractor. That's cool. Contractor as in the worky thing. Where are we? Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I missed so much. I yap a lot.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Hours doesn't. It's cute. I mean, you know, each country has their own things. I mean, they sometimes like they have disagreements. It's not like, you know, like leading a whole ass country is like difficult. So I wouldn't be surprised if they threw poo all over the building tracks. I mean, I'm sure somewhere, like, listen, people get upset and they do things when they're upset. Yeah. Oh, you were talking about Canada, but also there was like a man in Canada in my university that was like throwing poo. He was, what did we call him? They called him something. But he came in and he was like throwing poop all over people. It was pretty upsetting. He got charged with like a biohazard attack or something like that. Yeah, that was a thing. That was crazy. It was actually crazy. So that was a thing at like 2 years ago. It was nuts. Yeah, we're sometimes mature. We're not always mature as Canadians. Somebody comes to my home and wants to harm me and my family's life, and my ability to neutralize that threat is paramount. Yeah, we kind of tend to just like use the cops for that. Like we just call the police. And like lock our doors, and like I don't know, it like, you know, it's a really scary threat, but it just doesn't happen that often. Like it just, I don't know, maybe in America like people attack each other more often or whatever, and that's like the reason that like people are afraid that somebody's gonna like come to their house and like shoot their family or whatever. But here, maybe because we just don't, other people don't have guns or whatever, like it really just doesn't happen that often. It does happen every so often, and like, you know, and it's like a tragic accident or a tragic moment or whatever, but like honestly, like in the 26 years that I've been in this country, I haven't heard, like not a single time have I heard that like somebody showed up to somebody else's house for absolutely no reason, unpredicted, and like tried to do that to them. Never. I've heard of like gun violence like outside on the streets. I've heard of like, you know, some sort of other stuff, because even if you keep a gun in the house, like our firearm laws is like ridiculous. Like you have to like keep the gun locked in a case, and then you have to keep the ammo in like a completely different room locked in another case. Like it's a whole ass experience. So, and there has to be 5 different codes. So there's the case that locks the gun, and the gun locks, and there's the lock on the gun. Like it's just, you know, so accidents are not as often happening either. So we just don't have that like issue as much. I do understand the fear that like if that's like a legitimate fear that's like happening in your life, then 100 like, you know, totally makes sense. But I think it just doesn't happen here as much. And same concept goes for in Russia. Like I'm pretty sure they're like an open carry state country, but it just doesn't, like it does happen, but like it's usually like a beef between 2 people, and if they decide to do that, then like they're gonna both go to jail, and then, you know, you don't want to be in Russian jail for sure. It's not a good time, that's for sure. And handle it, yeah, exactly. I'm all on board for like, if y'all got beef, just beat the shit out of each other, just use your fists. Like it's some pussy shit to use a gun, that's stupid. Just, you know, if you got problems, just literally get a ring, get a bunch of audience members, get some popcorn, and like solve your issues that way. You know, why do we need to duel? That's dumb. We should have left dueling back in the 1700s. That's ridiculous. Canadian kids have a 22 rifle. Maybe up north. You definitely can't, like, you wouldn't be able to carry that into the city. You would be arrested. You would be stopped by the cops immediately. Or like you know, if you're being weird, like if you're being sus on the street, they will stop you. Because you can carry a machete around here, I'm pretty sure. But if you're being sus with a machete, they'll stop you. I don't remember. We checked this last time. I don't remember if it's legal or not legal, but there's like some rules. They've shut down my street at some point in the city. Yeah, well, you're in Russia, so like in Canada I don't trust the cops like an uncle, but I do feel comfortable around them because of my Russian experience. Their police are very like safe group of people, because they're very normalized, like they're very humanized, so like it's kind of like a cops and robbers type thing, but like forever. So it's like, and there's a lot of pride in being a cop over there, and like I guess we don't have the racial tension that like America has as well too, so 'tis different. Violate our rights left and right and don't even know about the law. Yeah, it seems like it. That's what I hear from the States, is that it's just like there's a massive issue with that. But yeah, in Canada we're not experiencing that for sure. Like we definitely do have like rights violations and blah 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 blah, but then like the Canadian government is also like very much, I think, just because in contrast to America, like very on board to be on their own asses about it. So that's very like, I don't want to say we're lucky in Canada, because like technically it should be that way everywhere, but yeah, I've said some crazy ass shit to cops before. And I've also like, I mean, it's also because I'm like a girl and blonde and all this other jazz, so like they don't see me as like a threat most of the time. But I've drunkenly yelled at a cop about the injustices of social rights, and he was like, "Yeah, you're right. I know. I'm sorry. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go now. Please don't arrest me for disorderly conduct." But they've always been really nice up here and very like accountable for their jazz, which is good. I hope it becomes like that everywhere, to be honest.
Drive active.
Yeah, we have different, I don't know, maybe some women and some men. there's also a lot of women out there that like different kinds of men, you know, so it's like,
Permission requested.
I think it's dependent also from like, you know, where you're at and what the situation is. Like different people in different places are probably gonna have different attractions for different reasons. We're all, you know, yucks and yums. Have different yucks and yums? I don't know. Well, hopefully you guys don't do Civil War and World War III. Hopefully you guys can talk. Have you guys seen Leave the World Behind? That's such a good movie. I think that's what's happening. You're getting their first AR-15. Oh my god. I can't imagine owning an AR-15. Like, I can't... is that the automatic one? The, like... they're like the Taliban guns. That's what I look at them. Or whatever, the... ISIS. Like, it's just... I don't know. From a Canadian perspective, it's like, it's so wild that you guys need to be, like, armed to the teeth to, like, exist in the country. That's scary. Really scary. I wish you the best of luck. I genuinely do. I hope you guys find like a peaceful resolution to your issues. Yeah. Like, you know, it's like if you aim an automatic weapon at a police officer, like, I wouldn't be, like, if I were to aim, like, an automatic weapon at an OMON officer, I would not be surprised when that OMON officer then takes me down. But they would, like, shoot you in the kneecap. Like, that's the thing about OMON, is that, like, they're very well trained and they will, like, not kill you unless it's, like, really genuinely the last resort. But it seems that, like, some cops really jump to that as, which I get, like, you're a human being that's, like, scared. And that's why you're, like, you know, doing certain things. But if you're like a highly trained officer, you should also be highly trained and like not motherfucker. I literally can't do that though. Okay, we gotta go get another ship. We can't keep doing stuff in this ship. We're gonna have to get a different ship. And it makes sense for me to go and get it from the other place, which sucks. What was I saying? Yeah, I get it, because it's like, you know, you're a human being and whatever, but then, like, if you're a human being and you're not emotionally, like, or mentally or whatever prepared to be in the position, because, like, Riot Cop is pretty high up in, like, in the chain of different types of cops. If you're saying that, like, I can be a Riot Cop, like, I am qualified to be a Riot Cop, then you should also be qualified to not make the first decision, not make the first, like, thought decision that comes to your mind, which is usually going to be, like, protect yourself. So that's, like, my opinion. But that's, again, because it's biased, because, like, I was raised, like, in the middle of, like, a training facility. So, like, I understand, like, what it takes to, anyways, I've seen the gradient of people. I forgot what I was saying, but you know, so it's like, or whatever. So it just, I don't know. I think they need more training. And not gonna lie, I just think they need more training. 22 jumps. Is there a closer one? Let's go here. Oh, we are undocked. Military contractors. That's fun. What do military contractors do? Like a militia type thing? Thank you, I should. Yeah, but again, we don't have we don't have people running around with guns, right? That are like armed and trying to hurt you. And like if there's a dude running around armed and trying to hurt you, like you have to acquire that gun from somewhere, first of all. So that person had to have gotten a gun. And like if you are like a person that's going to kill other people, like you're not going to be given a gun. You have to go through like psychological assessments and also like a shitload of testing, and if you fail that psychological assessment at any given point in time, they take your guns. So like you have to procure that gun somewhere. So okay, let's say this person got an illegal gun, right, and like showed up to your house. Like, why is that person showing up to your house? Like, is this like a stalker? Because in that case, like, why do you have a stalker, right? And then like and then if you do have a stalker, you're probably going to notice them before they like show up to your house to do all these things. Like, it's a very small percentage of people, of like a person that you don't know, who's going to like plot this like whole situation and like acquire a weapon and then show up at your house to do that. Like, there's just easier ways to like, if it's just like a robbery, like, okay, but robberies are, if it's a robbery done by, like, we have gang violence, right? Like, if it's a robbery done by a person with a gun who's part of a gang, then the issue is gang violence, and so there's already a big task force watching that. So like, yeah, it can happen, but the problem, like, you can also get hit by a bus. We shouldn't outlaw like buses, right? So it's like, it's just the probability of it is so low, and like, as I'm saying, like, historically it just hasn't happened in Canada like often enough for them to be like, validate like us needing guns in this country, in a country where like guns are available to every person. And so like, you have the fear that like your neighbor can show up to your house at any point in time and like, you know, assault you in that way. Then totally I see it. But here it just doesn't happen enough. So it's like, yeah, before the cops get there, but like we genuinely, like, I'm trying to remember, I'm like, genuinely, like, we've had like, you know, van attacks, and we've had like, you know, shit on the subway, and we've had like a dude come out with like a samurai sword and try to fuck people up. We've definitely had gang violence. We've had we've had assaults. We have a lot of assaults, like on women, right? Shit like that. Not a lot, that's a lie, not a lot. Before the government comes after me, not a lot. We don't have a lot. We have like, you know, a whatever amount, unfortunately. But even then, right, like, if you're a woman and you're getting assaulted, like, do you also want to add like homicide to that thing, or like manslaughter, right? Like, probably not, right? So it's like, it's just the trade-off is just not there really here. There's just different ways people protect themselves that's like better, and the cops are respondent enough, right? You also have to be like in a populated enough area, you know, etc., etc. Like, it just doesn't happen as often enough for us to like validate it on a country scale. Probably it's everywhere here. What's everywhere? Yeah, well, see, again, I don't know, propaganda maybe. It really reminds me of like the movie Leave the World Behind. It really reminds me of that. It's crazy, like, seeing it happen. But yeah, radical people be radical. Radical shit's not good. Gotta de-radicalize everyone. That would be a good idea. Australia, crime skyrocketed after the buybacks and all the restrictions on law-abiding citizens, and criminals don't care. Yeah, I did hydrate. Yeah, I mean, we had like, it's our own crime syndicate heads, the older ones, like the Gen X crime syndicate heads, are like actively advocating for the craziness of gun violence in gangs, especially, and just to like not, because like here, like, there was a whole entire conversation, and it still is ongoing, where it's like, you know, the like people that used to be in organized crime and stuff, they understand that like that life is just like no bueno, it doesn't bring anything positive or anything good, so they have actively advocated to like put down the guns and like, let's redirect that energy into something better, because that's going to make our country better as a whole, and like your lives better, and like you don't have to die for rap game. It's not cool. And there's not really any reason for anybody to be fighting. Like, you don't really have to have a turf war over this city. You can just like music each other away. Like, it's just very much a juvenile issue. But aside from that one problem, like, we really don't have any other gun violence problem. We have like issues that are like, you know, like, we just have issues because of this and that and whatever, and like, we're a big country, especially in Toronto, like, we're a big city that has a lot of different people in it, so, you know, but we just don't have that kind of thing, and a lot of our people advocate against violence, so it's just part of that culture. Part of that Canadian goose energy. I think the SmackDown is yeah, maybe. maybe you never know. Yeah, I wouldn't, you know, I just wouldn't. You never know who you're fucking with, you know? Semi-auto, military auto. Nice. That's crazy. Well, yeah, I've been seeing some crazy shit come out of America. Again, that's what I was talking about, where, like, it just seems like a lot of these, like, law enforcement agents in the States are very much undertrained. Very much undertrained. Like, I just think you guys need more training. And, like, a better approach to law enforcement. Like, you gotta humanize the law enforcement officer, not just the cops, but like the law enforcement officers, and then like train them better, because like otherwise what are we gonna, like, get rid of the cops? That's crazy. And then do what? Like, yeah, I do believe that, like, you know, like ACAB and all that stuff, but like also like but are we just gonna have anarchy? Because that's a little crazy. And again, we had that conversation years ago in Toronto, and the cops love to sim for us, which is actually kind of really hot, so it's fine. I do love our Toronto cops. They're silly goose juice, but they're always, you can like turtle touch them if you'd like. On the face, I mean. I wouldn't suggest it, but you technically probably could. If you ask nicely, they'll probably say yes. I am enjoying my Asetia tea. Yes. Mountain tea. It's our UFC Chimaev fight week, so we gotta drink that sweet mountain tea. We have kids and machetes breaking into people's houses here, usually older sleeping people, such cowards, honestly. Yeah, exactly. See, it's always the kids. Like, if somebody's doing stupid shit, they're usually under the age of 27. Like, they just don't have a frontal cortex, and so that's how we're approaching shit. Like, in Toronto, at least, it's like, okay, like, we understand that, like, any of the violence that's happening outside is, like, generally children, and then, like, you know, sometimes people with mental health issues. So, like, if we just treat those two issues, technically we should be good, and, like, so far it's been pretty reasonable. It's worked out. Gun violence outlawed in England, and then knife violence skyrocketed. Yeah, I think we're also biased by the fact that, like, we're a very northern country, and there's only polar bears like around us. It's like the States and then polar bears. So it's like there's no migration issues as much, so there's none of that, and like we're very tighter knit communities, because like you go outside of where infrastructure is built in this country, and it's like it's the wild out there. So, you know, even if we do have some sort of like migration issues, like it gets more or less solved. But even right now, like we are definitely having an immigration situation. We've brought in like, and again, I'm an immigrant, so like, you know, we've brought in a shit ton of people. And so now we're having an issue because people haven't assimilated quickly enough to the ideologies of the Western world. Not so much to Canada, because we don't have that same kind of assimilation expectation. But we did mess that up a little bit, and so now they're kind of slowing it down and stuff. But again, it's just a lot easier to I think it's a lot easier for people to assimilate here, because it's like the only requirement is that you just kind of try to sort of agree with, you just kind of try to sort of not get in the way of the governmental system, because it's just trying to keep us together, and it's just trying to build infrastructure. And so there's very like low bar for what the expectation is, so we don't have that kind of issue. I don't know. Yeah, but a lot of it is, yeah, it's kids. Kids are stupid, so we try to unstupid the kids. But also, like, it's really easy to unstupid the kids if you just give them something else more fun to do. Like, it's really easy to get them off of the violence kick if you just, like, jingle a bunch of keys in front of their face and be like, oh, do art, and then they're like, yeah, okay, we'll do art. Like, it's super easy. They're children. Like, at the end of the day, just because they look like a sort of semi-adult as a teenager, just because they're the same height as you, like, you can still jingle keys in front of their face, and then they'll literally do whatever they're told most of the time, as long as you're nice to them. Like, they're children. Having guns anymore because of guns being taken away. Oh yeah, didn't Australia also turn in all their guns? Which is reasonable. We should just build public arenas for mutual combat everywhere. I agree with that. I cannot wait until UFC 250. I cannot wait. I absolutely listen. It's some crazy shit that he tore down that side of the White House. That's actually absolutely crazy shit, but I am so on board with this whole ballroom / UFC like / arena thing situation. I'm like, build a Roman Coliseum. I don't give a fuck. I think that's the perfect way to solve things, and I think that they should also pin government like officials as well. I think that before going to a war, they should put the two of them into an arena and have them fight it out, just so that they like the leaders know what it's like to be in a war, and the leaders know what it's like to like bleed or like break a bone or whatever. Or like maybe shoot each other in the leg. I don't know. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's stupid. And then, you know, whoever wins. And then if they still want to go to war afterwards, then like, you know, whatever. Make the generals do it, and then whatever. Prey on the unprepared. Yeah, see, exactly. Gankers that are preying on the unprepared. Exactly. Or yeah. That's kind of the issue most of the time, is what I'm finding. The States is like different. They do their own thing. Like, I don't know. But here, or like in Russia, they don't have any of that. Well, they do. Actually, they do. That's a lie. In Russia, they've struggled. Like, they've had a lot of border conflicts, and they also they went through radicalization. So I think that we've learned our lesson through blood, like through genuinely the amounts of lives lost, and like how incredibly traumatic that has been for like the entire population, whether through World War II or through like radicalized situations or through border conflicts. So their people just don't, and it's also the population comparison to the size is like not as high, so I think people there just like cherish life a lot more because they understand how like easily lost it is. There's used to be a high suicide rate. Now it's significantly better, but they just take a lot of that stuff a lot more seriously, or like a lot more seriously, but like in the like mortality kind of way. So it's a good thing and a sad thing at the same time. And also not as much consumerism over there, so they kind of just, we tend to lay in the grass and hang out with the horses. Alliance to fight against them all in HiSec. Exactly. Weehaw. That's adorable. It's cute. I like that you guys have so many years in the game. I'm sorry it's taking me so long to catch up on this chat. The issue is that all the cops are ex-military. Really? That's crazy. They're fresh out of the war coming. Yeah, okay, that's the other thing too, is that like there is like no treatment for them mental health situations. Like war is like just a little bit traumatic. I don't know if you guys know, but like murdering a person is like psychologically difficult. So I'm blown away at the little support that vets have. That shit blows my mind. Like, blows my mind genuinely. I'm like, what do you mean you're not giving any support to the human being that's just unalive like a bunch of other human beings? Like, you need like a little bit of mental health support at least after that, or just like for somebody to pat you on the back and tell you that it's gonna be okay, at least. Like, at least, or like give you respect or some shit like that, or tell you that it's gonna be like any kind of support would be great. Don't put them on the street with a gun. That's not a good idea. That's how you get crazy shit happen. No one would rob each other. Really? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? America is the petri dish that's testing that theory. Get the carrot because everyone had guns. Huh. Yeah, I mean, again, so Russia lost 27 million people in World War II, so they have just such a completely different outlook on World War II than I see the States having, and it's remembered significantly different. Like, May 9th is coming up. May 9th is, like, the end of the war. So that day is, like, celebrated very heavily, and, like, they don't forget about, like, the process of war and how much it cost us and all this other stuff, like, at all. So it's, like, it's still very present in the minds of, like, the children today in, like, a respectful way. And there's these, like, massive monuments that are built and stuff like that. So we approach war, like, very... Here, like, it's kind of sad because people are, like, forgetting already. Like, I don't see a lot of people, like, wearing poppies or, like, you know, really giving too much like, they give respect to the veterans, but they kind of also don't. And they also, like, don't really care about the younger veterans for some reason, which is crazy. I'm like, what do you mean you don't care about your vets? Like, it's... Come on, guys. Regardless of, like, you know, the military leadership, like, you gotta care about them vets. Eastern U.S. that requires a gun ownership of a gun for every head in the household. Wow, that's scary. Do they have a lot of crime? Like, do they have a lot of gun violence happening? That's scary, though. That's scary. That's scary. That's scary. America didn't get invaded because of... Well, yeah, but also, like, what enemy? Like, Canadians? Like, why would we? And then, like, what, Mexican? Like, I don't know about Mexico, whatever. Different thing. But, like, America's also just, like, very far away from anywhere else. Like, it would be very hard to invade America. Just physically difficult. Like, okay, let's say you come over to America from, like, the east, and then you fight them, and then you have to, what, like, ship all your shit in? Like, it doesn't, it's stupid. And how would you control the population, right? Like, if this was the Roman Empire, like, reasonably, like, if Genghis Khan was coming to, like, you know, acquire America, like, how would he control it then, right? Like, it would just be incredibly difficult. Be like, all right, I've conquered you, now I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna come back, right? Or, like, what are you gonna do? Like, ship your people? Like, it's crazy. So for sure, that's probably why they don't come. But also, it's just, it would be hard to, like, imagine if Australia tried to, like, invade America. That would be difficult. Like, and then you would have to make this 11-month journey to bring my people here. Subjugate yours. It's hard. Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully, now that we have the internet, just, like, we can just have our feelings out on the internet instead of, like, fucking with each other. That's silly. There ain't no reason. And, like, what are you gonna do? Like, okay, you bring over, like, a bunch of your women or men, but then you, like, have a bunch of babies with the people you just invaded. It's very Genghis Khan. Like, you know, silly goose juice. Let's just not do that to each other. Who's going after your guns, though? You keep saying that. Is this a political thing? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not, like, very in the know. I do follow the politics, but I don't entirely understand it, to be honest. I, like, study it, basically, but I don't, like, study it informally. But I don't entirely understand it because I come at it from, like, either a Canadian or a Russian, or, like, not even Russian, but, like, an Eastern European and also European and also Asian perspective that, like, it just doesn't entirely make sense to me because we don't have the same issues. Like, Canada has had a minority government for, like, almost the past decade. And in Russia, we just run shit differently. In China, they run shit differently. In Europe, they run shit differently. So the dual system... I don't fully, like, because I wasn't born inside of it, like, I don't fully get why it's done that way. And the whole South-North issue, I don't get it either, because, again, the approach from the cultures that I come from and the studies that I come from is just very different, so it's very hard to, like, genuinely, like, put myself into those shoes. I can only put myself into those shoes, like, by basically reading it as a textbook, but I don't entirely understand, to be honest. But I do see that there's, like, a fear that somebody's gonna come and, like, take the guns away or tread on you. Or, I don't know if that's the right term. That might be the wrong term. Whatever it means, please feel free to correct me. Yeah, that's what I heard, that the mass shooting, and then everybody turned in the guns. Haven't had one since. Crazy how that works, hey. Anything automatic, semi-automatic with a magazine, more than 5 ammo. Oh, cute! Only revolvers with 1 missing. That's nice, yeah. Again, I'm Canadian, I'm on board with that. Like, I don't remember. I think my family sold their guns, whatever. It was fun. I've been shooting guns since I was like... Oh, shit. Either 6 or 9. I think 6, though. I love guns. I love shooting. I think guns are fantastic. I think as like a thing, they're super fun. Or super cool. Not super fun. They're super fun to shoot at a range, at a target in a range. I like it when they go boom. Very fun. I like the different types of guns. I like all that jazz, but I would never want to use one in like an active situation. That would be horrible. I would never even want to like shoot an animal. I would not want to use them for violence. I just want to use them for like, make shit blow up and look, I made a hole over there. Like, that's cool, you know, or training your like hand-eye coordination or your target practice or whatever. Very cool. But the rest, like, for violence just sounds scary. But again, that feeling comes from all the dead people that come from the country that I was raised in. And just knowing how brutal war is. Being raised around, you know, both law enforcement, but also a lot of military personnel. A lot of them did go to war. A lot of them died in war. So, like, you know, that shit sucks when you, like, lose a person you love or a person you cared about to gun violence or to war or something like that. Like, it just really dampens your fun for wanting to shoot a live creature. It makes it a lot more sad and a lot less rah-rah. So yeah, more interesting looking into the fact that a person said that the person that did it was highly autistic but hate criminals. The media covers it up. Yeah, like, we should definitely be treating mental health in general. Like, mental health is like a really big deal. Mental health, you know, any kind of crime, like, there definitely needs to be more. That's what I'm saying, is that, like, if you humanize the cops and also train them better so that they're not the danger in this community, and the cops are there like detectives, you know, rather than meat shields or literally the bear in the city forest, then it kind of opens up a lot more resources to actually do policing and crime fighting and stuff like that, right? Like, just like if we remove like all the crazy shit that's been happening the past like 5 years or whatever, like, do you guys remember how many like crime show, like, there was like CSI Miami and like Dexter and all this other stuff where, like, you know, where it was like promoted, like that kind of like crime fighting and stuff like that. Bones, I really loved Bones, you know, and shit like that would become less and less, right? Like, this is an issue of mental health a lot of the times, or an issue of like a person that's like in a really bad situation, and so they're like doing crime to put themselves in a better situation. But it really is just like, or it's mental health, or the person is like either crazy or mad or like something else, and they just want to, like, you know, take out as many people and then take themselves down. Same thing actually with the Toronto van attack. The guy tried to commit silly-cide via cop, and the Toronto cop was really well trained. Like, he didn't just like discharge his weapon as soon as the guy like pretended to have like a weapon. He actually monitored to see if the guy did have a weapon, and then eventually just, I'm pretty sure, just walked up and arrested him because the guy was like out of the van, so like technically not aggressive anymore, or like aggressive but not dangerous, or not as dangerous. So yeah. But also, your media shouldn't be covering it up. Like, that's not... Well, I don't fucking know. It depends. I guess it depends. Like, because you gotta mitigate, like, mass panic, right? Like, you can't have... the media also shouldn't sensationalize it, either. You should just report shit. I am surviving. I've been trying to get through this fucking chat for ages. That these things haven't any other issues for 10 years. That's cool. Interesting. I mean, it's just scary. It just sounds scary to me, I think. it just sounds scary. All those guns, and like right now is not a time that I'm visiting the States at all. Unless, well, I don't know, depending. Depending. I wouldn't fuck around in the States for sure. Or at least I don't feel as safe in the States. Like I worry that sometimes I worry that like, especially now, not so much, like I'm not super worried about it because generally like all of my experiences with the States have been pretty good. So I do realize that people in the States are not like just crazy by default, everyone. But I do get worried that like I'll say or do something stupid, or like, you know, not so much me sometimes, but even I don't know now. But like, you know, having like males in my entourage or whatever, especially males that don't speak English in my entourage, and like they do something silly and then they get hurt either by a civilian or by an officer or something like that. Like, this is not the time that I would want to travel. I think I've mentioned it before, where like what I've seen happen with like ICE and stuff, and now they're the TSA agents. Like, I definitely am not encouraged in any way, shape, or form to like go to the States or like trying to avoid American like air flight places, because it's such an unstable time, and like I've never felt that way before. So as a person from the outside, it's scary to me, but from the inside perhaps it's more comforting for you guys. You know, different perspectives, of course. Right there if you go west, northwest. Yeah, I know. I always love how close, like, people are always like, rah, rah, Russia, but I'm like, you know, if you just look at the map the other direction, like, it's right there. Like, China's, like, right there. Like, it was very close. Like, we should all, I was taught that we should all get along significantly more, because, like, the globe is round, and, like, you know, we go one, we go all. So, like, we should chill and, like, be nice to each other for that reason. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. You don't hear that from the outside. Yeah, I don't know. That they're trying to take y'all guns and stuff. I've literally never heard that from the out. Like, I've never heard. I hear the rhetoric from, like, one side or another, but I don't hear any, like, I haven't actually heard any, like, or maybe they're trying to make it more like Canada, and so like you don't hear it as a Canadian because you're like, I don't, what's the problem with that? Where like you have to like have a permit or something like that, where you can't just like freely willy-nilly like purchase guns and stuff. But again, as a Canadian, I don't see the issue, so it's like perhaps it doesn't like register in my like brain the same way that it would if they were being like, every gun in the province must be in the States must be turned in or something like that. But I can see that if it's like a really big ol' deal, that you would feel upset. Hello, fuck it. How are you today? It is nice to see you. The issue is the military and vets will protect the Constitution, but the contractors and dark ops who don't care will do whatever they want and get paid to do. Yeah, that do be the problem with paid for officers. I don't know if you guys heard. So I don't know why I'm laughing. I had like there's not a lot of times that I cry over like shit that happens in Russia, because usually it's fine. But in 2023 they had like a situation where one of the contracted forces actually turned against the government and started marching on them. I was crying. I was crying. And that was pretty scary. But that got solved very quickly. And the thing with hired forces is that once you take out their governing factor, they don't give a shit. Like, you can just pay them to be on your side. The actual people fighting in the forces don't give a fuck. They just want to get paid. Like, they're just dudes that are just trying to make a buck. So it's scary until you like think of it logistically, usually. Unless they're like an activated military force that wants to like fuck with you, in which case like you have a really big problem and you have like, you know, 40,000 people that like, that's an uprising at that point, and that's scary, you know. But if they're just paid for it, you can just like pay them to not. Silent civil war while World War III is happening at the same time for me. Well, I don't know, guys. It's up to you to solve. I hope that you find a better solution. I really suggest that you guys watch Leave the World Behind. because that one was talking about how it's like, you know, millennials and Gen X is like feeling these feelings, but then there's like all of Gen Z and Gen Alpha and Gen Beta that are just like watching Friends, right? Like all the kids don't feel that way. And so it's like important to remember that like there's a bunch of children involved in all this, and like those kids probably don't feel as polarized as a lot of us adults do. And so like they're not, you know, like all the adults can kill each other, but then the kids are still going to be left behind, and the kids are probably going to form a very different society by themselves. And so unless we want to do that, we should probably just like consider the children instead instead of our own bullshit. But that's my opinion. And again, I'm not in the situation. I'm a person watching the situation from an outside, so I have, you know, I'm privileged to be on the outside and be saying that it might be, you know, much more difficult to have those experiences when you're on the inside of them. And I truly wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope that you guys come to a good resolution, peaceful resolution for the issues you guys are experiencing. And we believe in you guys. We really do. We love you guys. We love you, America. You know, we love you and believe in you. And we love your whole, you know, Western... What's it called? What are they called? Yeah, Western movies, right? Like the cowboys and all that jazz. Like, you know, it's fun. It's always been fun to be like, hey, it's the Americans. Yeehaw. Nice. OBS. Cool. You're streaming? I think I saw you streaming the other day. I was trying to multi-stream the OBS. They do support multi-stream. If you want, let me tell you how. Search up RTMP plugin for OBS. And they do. You just have to set it up. You have to set up your YouTube and then I don't know if I think I heard you doing Kick or something. You just have to get the plugin and then clickety-clack that stuff. And it's free. So that's how I do my stuff. I do Kick and YouTube and Facebook. All for free, because I don't do shit for paid. Yeah. Dexter got weird. I was down with Dexter until he started, like, having a thing with his sister. What was that? Why do they always go that direction? But I guess he's like a serial killer, so that makes sense. They couldn't humanize him too much. Like, he's a serial killer. He has psychological issues for sure. Yeah, but you're never gonna have people get along 100%, right? Like if you think about it, human psychology, like, comes on a spectrum. Not in the, like, oh my god, we're all like rainbows, but like human bodies, like, there's 1,000 different ways to put a puzzle together, right? And not 100% you're gonna put that puzzle together properly. Sometimes you're gonna fuck shit up. Like, for those of you that have seen, like, animals and stuff like that, some of them come up like a little bit fucked up. They have like 2 heads or 5 hands or some other shit. The same thing happens with our brains. So we have like 2% of the population that have like serious psychological pathologies. There's no way, like, just because it's a natural process, there's literally no way to stop that from happening. And like generally evolution is like deleterious mutations get removed from the population quite quickly, but ones that are like neutral or whatever are conserved. And so it's like we have, like, you know, the most hinged person and the most unhinged person, and so we're always going to have that. And so some people are always not going to get along with others, and the most unhinged people have like a tendency, then like 60% of the people are in the middle, right, to like rile up the 60% and pull them into whichever direction. That's just like human existence, like there's the state of human existence. And so, like, we can't stop that process. There's just literally no way to do it. We don't have a control mechanism to make that stop, right? So we have to kind of approach it with the concept that, like, we're always going to have, like, shitty people, and then we're always going to have shitty people that are trying to take advantage of the population, right? So we just need to create systems that are aware of that concept and are trying their best, and then have fail-safes and safeguards for, like, when things go wrong, this is how we do things. Those are really leaving their whole coming into the country to blend in and slowly turn populace in their own religion and belief system as they currently doing. Yeah, I mean, the whole So like I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm Muslim, like by choice and by will and happily. So you know, it's like I think that it just really depends on how you look at it. Like people are like there's a really big like you know, propaganda and misrepresentation and like fear of like all these things, and I just don't think it's correct. That being said though, I will also say that, you know, because I come from the East, and like absolutely there's like groups in the East that are like unhappy with America and like blah blah blah, but that doesn't mean everybody in the East, that doesn't mean all Muslims, that doesn't mean all like people of different religions, right? I'm just assuming that's one of the religions, because I've been hearing that rhetoric. And again, leave the world behind. Like it literally, it's just, I always find it really interesting when America releases a movie about something they're about to do, and then they do it, and you're like, hey. And it was funny because I'm pretty sure that the producer of that movie is like the Obamas. So like the American president is like, this is about to happen, and then it happens. I'm just like, kind of feels like you knew this was gonna happen. And it kind of feels that way, where there's just like a lot of like propaganda back and forth. Me being a person that's been to so many different places in the world, like I just, there's different rhetorics, just the same way as like here, like not all Americans are out to like murder everybody out in the planet. Some of them are, but not all of them, right? Same thing from everywhere else on the planet. There's probably people that want to fuck with you, but not all people are gonna fuck with you. Like, you know, most people don't want to. Again, there's like 2% of the like people that have serious like psychological pathologies, and then also are in positions of power that are doing bad things, but like 95% of the planet is 60% of the people, like most people on the planet, just want to like live their life. Like they just want to like have a family, raise children, like that's it, and they don't want to do anything else. Just wake up, go to bed, go to work, do whatever. Then like, you know, there's like a 10% to 20% that want to like be in politics or like build shit or like do art or like whatever. And then there's small amounts of people that are just like horrible human beings, and they ruin it for everyone. But that like, it really doesn't mean that there's like that everyone coming into the country, or that there's like this like crazy amount of people coming into like any country trying to fuck around. There's just a small amount that does damage, and that's unfortunate, and we just need to be aware of those problems and fix it. Yes. Yeah, I mean, you call it like alpha and beta, but yeah, like, so like it really like one of the differences, for example, is in your mind is like your ability to like create images in your head. Not everybody has that, right? Not everybody has the metacognition, which is the ability to think about your thinking, or to the ability to analyze your thinking. There's not a lot of people that think in systems, for example, right? So like 60% of the population, don't quote me on that because it's like it's depending, but something like 60% of the population are linear thinkers. So they think in point A to point B to point C, and that's why people that are linear thinkers and also don't have a big discourse with themselves, it's very easy to tell them what to do, but also a lot of them require to be told what to do, not because they're stupid, but just because that's how their mind works. People are very important, and in terms of evolution, like we've always had like hearth keepers, and we've always had like the people that like did tribal shit, like they just did day-to-day tribal shit. You see this in literal like regular population, like not regular but like other species populations, right? So it's not that they're like beta humans or whatever. You can call them that if you'd like to, but that's just the existence of a species or like a human or whatever. So it's like, it's just the way she goes. Do I even have anything to fit my stuff with? Nope. Alright, well, when I get back to it, that's when we'll... Darn it. Where were we going? That's a good point. Gotta yap. Was it here? Yeah. Yeah. People do be doing people things. And is it going to come out with the alpha winning? I mean, like, maybe, but, like, do you really want to do that? Like, if you are you going to fight against your own population, right? Would you kill your own tribe just to be king? Probably not. You don't have a tribe. If you don't have a tribe, you can't be king of the tribe, right? So it's like, if you think about it in that way, that's why, like, warlords won't kill their entire populations either, because, like, if you don't have a population, you're not really a warlord, and you don't really have the infrastructure to, like, do whatever. And, like, you also can't hold your entire population under, like effectively under, like, a dome, because that's not how humans work. Humans will fuck around. Like, you can only control humans to a certain extent, and then at some point they just don't give a fuck. Kick, I'm not doing YouTube. Yeah, you can for sure do Kick through it. I'm literally on Kick right now. Just Google, it's, yeah, RTMP OBS plugin. I didn't do shit all on this stream. Thank you. I should stretch. Like, fix my spine. Funny thing is, which temple? What are you specifically referring to? Because, again, like, if we're talking about Islam, I can talk about it, but if we're talking about, I can talk about Christianity, I can talk about Islam. I have a little bit of experience with, like, Judaism. I have marginal experience with Buddhism. What else do I know? I have theology over there. I think that's it. Those are my only religions that I really know. Technically, I have marginal experience with that sweet Satanism, but only because I listened to last podcast on the left, and that's, like, the only place I get my information from. But I don't think that's a religion. I think it's more of, like, a cosplay. I mean, most religion is cosplay anyways, but, like, well, this isn't, in fact, what's it called, intended for a certain audience, a mature stream.
Drive active.
But yeah, look at that, guys. I caught up to chat. She can't see images in her head, so it makes during her. Yeah, exactly, right? So, like, we all have different brains, right? And we don't talk about it nearly enough, but, like, our human experience of, like, how we experience life is, like, so different. Like, we each have, like, a completely different, yeah, I know, it took me so long. I mean, I'm logging off in, like, 15 minutes, guys. We have such a different, we each have such a different experience of, like, what it's like to be here, right? Like, I have, like, a very long memory of, like autobiographical memory, right, of just, like, my own existence, and I'm learning that, like, a lot of people don't have memories like that, right? Or they're not able to see images in their heads, or whatever. So it's like, it really do be different for everyone. And we don't talk about, in my opinion, we don't talk about that nearly enough. Or, like, different people are capable, like, the capability of thinking about your own thoughts and analyzing your own thoughts is not a capability that most humans have. It's actually, like, a very small percentage of the population that has that ability. So recognizing that, like, and what are you gonna do, like, murder everybody that doesn't have that ability? That's insane. Like, we'd not be able to achieve that. Like, the majority of the population is in that camp. They would just be unhinged to try to build a world like that, right? So it's like, we gotta build the world that, like, makes sense for the most of us. And that's, like, a very basic world. Like, I think it's just, like, very basic things. LOL. That's cool. Nice. Congratulations. I have a fairly reasonable memory for, like, things. It's definitely not photographic, though. Like, I don't 100% remember everything all the time. I think I would go crazy if I remembered everything all the time with, like, perfect detail. I have a good memory, but, like, if I remembered every single room and location and everything down to the very minute detail of everything, I think I would literally go insane. Like, I struggle with, like, how much I remember now, because I will overthink it sometimes, because I also do metacognition. But if I remembered everything always, I think I would probably not be here anymore, to be honest. I'd be like, fuck that. It would just be too much for my brain to hold at once, so I'm grateful for the ability to forget things, or to at least, like, send them into that subconscious brain where it exists and we don't think about it. But it's also really nice to organize your subconscious brain and, like, have a system for how you catalog shit, so you're not just, like, throwing stuff in there, because repressing your thoughts and emotions usually doesn't end well. In my experience, at least. Yeah, perhaps. I mean, it's a very strategy-driven game, and does require you to remember a lot of things, because it's a very similar, like, background for everything. So you have to, like, be good at spotting small differences. I feel like EVE is a concentration of people that think that way, so that makes sense. And it's a small player base, like, well, comparatively. Like 20,000 people in comparison to the size of the planet Earth is, like, pretty small, so it tracks for having, like, a congregation of people that can do that. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, buddy. I hope that sleeping helps you. Yeah. That sweet EMDR helps, if anything. Or, I don't know, what else helps? Just, like, art. Art helps to disconnect the mind. Looking at a nice field and breathing fresh air, I feel like that helps too. I try to focus on, like, right here and nothing else. Sometimes when my brain is too overstimulated. But shit gets crazy. Yeah. What do you need to do to get creator status on Twitch? Because didn't you get affiliation already? He helps me stream for 5 hours to be able to get subscribers. That's insane. Oh, you mean, like, on Twitch? Oh. Yeah. I think it depends on how you approach it, though, because it's like, if you're gonna... Creator status in the... Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's, like, it has to do... Because it has to do with, server capacity, right? Like, if everybody was... Like, Twitch recently did something along those lines where they blocked you from... I think it's, like, you're only allowed to upload, like, 100 hours of whatever... and then they start deleting it. I think it really has to just do with server capacity, because if, like, every single person was logging on and creating content, they would have to really invest in servers. And that would probably be quite difficult for them. And I think maybe, I just hydrated. I think that Kick has, like, less content creators, so they're really encouraging content creators. Yeah, I've been pretty quiet on Kick, though. And they have more relaxed rules. Hello, Kick, look at that. There's 2 viewers. They're adorable. They're always really cute. I find Kick to be cute. They're so quiet. Yeah, for sure. I've yapped non-stop on this one. Jesus. But thank you for the stimulating conversations, guys. Me and my I love anthropology, really. It's not so much politics, I just really love anthropology. Which one of these ammos works for this gun? Do any of them work for it? Is it like different types of rounds, or is it specific ones? We'll find out. Which one do I have a bunch of? None of them? Like, will it take this? Will it take this? Will it take this? Eh? Okay, none of these. That's stupid. Eh? Are these, these ones I think I just picked up from a thing, so I don't think they're even, like, usable. Alright. What are they called? Gatling autocannon. Chat. It says EMPS is an acceptable weapon. Why, brother? Oh, okay, yeah, see. Silly goose juice, okay. Put this in there. And then the fusion one, right? Fusion. This one. Boop. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. Where is she? There she is. Go. Why? I also probably don't. I want these ones. I want these ones. Auto cannon. This one? Yes. 3, please. Well, I hope that other ammo works with it, because otherwise we've done something. Oopsie daisies. Ta-da. Please work. Oh, thank God. She says loading weapons. That's okay. Look at that. Now we have all this storage capacity. Alright, let's get back to where we were. Finish that quest, and then I'm gonna go. Shit, destination. The Rehold jumps away. I still absolutely love this paint job. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Dun, 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 dun. Thrasher Navy, maybe that's a great idea. I just had a bunch of Thrashers around random locations so that I can jump into them because I was doing some streams with, or some pew pew time with Booga, and so I had a few closer to there. But I didn't have one in my house for some reason, which was silly goose juice. Personalization. This one makes me happy. It's very Fear and Loathing. Anyways, Freebird. Yeah. Anyways, nice. Congratulations. You found the plugin. Congrats. Yeah, it's a good time. Oh, drop on the ship itself. Oh. Civilian guns don't need ammo. I didn't know that. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Heck yeah. Nice, cool. Yeah, it was a good time. I forgot what I was gonna say. This has been fun. I'm glad we went to go get this ship. But I do like this ship. I like the other ship. I'm finding that I'm enjoying. I do like missions, but I like the low-level missions. That's why I'm like, I like the grind. The grind is enjoyable. But again, I'm really recognizing my, like, WoW traits every so often where I'm like, you like the grind because you're so used to doing that. It's just endless low-level questing. Fuck's sakes. It's terrible because it's clearly inside of my, like, brain now where I'm just like, this is relaxing. Like, fuck's sakes. You never notice. You don't notice how quickly it gets into your brain. For more loot? Yes, indeed. Well, right now, actually, I need to go turn in this quest, and apparently it all needs to be in my ship's cargo hold. As per this. You guys can't see it when I point to the screen with my hand. Why do I try? So... tomorrow I will be back. Tomorrow the Flyers are playing game 3. We'll see how it goes. I just want them to win one. Just one, and we'll be fine. Well, hopefully. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out and coming into the chat and chatting with me. I also appreciate stimulating conversations. 'Tis make me happy. Thank you. All love all around. I love you guys and respect you. Regardless of any opinions you may hold. As long as those... I mean, if you're like losing it, we should get the net. We should just get the net. It's okay. It's okay. We love you anyways. Just get the net. But yes, thank you so much. I appreciate your Thank you. Have a good evening and enjoy your... Did you say dinner? Enjoy your food. I like nets. Nets are fun. Have to run some board. Have fun. Enjoy. Dinner! Yeah, I'm stoked to nap time, to be honest. Nets are a good time. I don't know if you guys ever caught butterflies with nets. Did you guys do butterfly catching when you were younger? It's a good time. 07, sir. But yeah, I used to love catching butterflies. We also used to collect, like, caterpillars and shit. Beetles. Colorado potato beetle. Anybody raised potatoes when that beetle was around? For fuck's sakes. Whole experience. Oh no. Yeah, no, we're gonna go. Okay, sweet friends, I'm also heading out, because it is indeed 11 o'clock, and I am sleepy. And I'm trying to get to bed earlier these days, because certain people require that. So I'm gonna go, but we're gonna go raid out to Lilium Cobra. She's online. So we're gonna go raid out to her. No, but sort of. No, I have certain humans that get upset when we go to bed too late. So I gotta go do that. But I hope you guys have a good evening. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much for the stimulating combos. I appreciate that. I love you all. Everybody stay safe and drink water and eat food. Love each other. I don't know what else. All the good things. Go be nice to Lilium. She's lovely. They're lovely together, but I also just like re-hot girl power. Alrighty, let's do it. Let's do it. Good night, everybody that's silently in chat. Let me go copy her name, though. Boop. Boop. Oh, stop. Alrighty. Adios, friends. Lots of love. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy the nighttime or the daytime, Booga. Yes. Lots of storage. Alright, let's go. Alright, good night, guys. Bye. Have fun. Be nice. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Alright, pals. Lots of love. I hope you have a good evening, and I will be back tomorrow. It'll be fun. I'm excited for this flyer situation. It'll be a magical situation. Yes. Okay. Have a good evening. Oh, what's it doing? Did we not raid? What is it up to? No, it totally did. It totally did. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, good night, friends. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.